Hey guys, welcome back to another junk journal with me or journal with me video. This one is a Christmas version, so I'm working in a different notebook today and I'm just giving you a quick little flick through of that. All the details of the book are there on the side of the screen, so it's just a really soft cover little notebook that's really quickly thrown together. It doesn't have any sewing or anything like that, it's just paper, and so it's really simple. And I'm back journaling it's more than a week. So some of the stuff is from the end of November, and then I've got some stuff from like the first week of December. So the first thing I want to journal about is my daughter's 3rd birthday, because I didn't get to fit any of this journaling into my normal journal. So she turned 3 and she turned 3 on the 25th of November. So I feel like I can kind of squeeze it into this book. Even though it's not really Christmassy, everything that I put into this book isn't necessarily going to be Christmas related. There's also going to be normal journaling for anything that we did throughout the month. So this is just going to be my journal for the whole month of December. I'm just looking through that little Hey Santa paper pad, and I'm looking for a pink paper because my daughter's favorite color is pink, and I'm going to use that to back the back side of this paper, so where it's just plain white. And I picked this bright pink paper and I'm just going to glue that straight down onto the page just so that it has a nice background to it. I like having some pages that are stark white because it allows me to customize them to whatever I need. So if both of these pages were Christmas related or had Christmas patterns on them, it would be kind of hard to make it look more like it would be harder to make it pass for a birthday spread. So I like that having that white page gives me a little bit more flexibility. And in this journal I'm going to be working chronologically, so from front to back. So I don't really get to choose so much which page is going to go with what. So I like having that mixture of paper in there that allows me to still customize. And all of these spreads are really simple. On this spread, I'm just sticking my favorite photo of my daughter down on the pink paper. And then on the other page, I just created a little pocket with some more Hey Santa paper. And I just tucked in all those extra photos that I wanted to include into that pocket. And then I'm picking this little rainbow from the Hey Santa paper as well. It's just a little cut apart, and that goes really well with the picture because my daughter's swimmers have like rainbow stripes on them. And then I just put a little red framed label on top of the pocket on the other side. Just adding a little bit of washi tape around the page just to add a little bit more detail. Like I said, all of these pages are really simple. I had so much to put into here and to catch up on that it was kind of overwhelming. So I wanted to keep the pages really simple and just get it done. Just taking my pen, I'm just writing like a big sketchy title. It says Rue turns 3, and I just put that straight on top of the pocket there on the right side. And then I just wrote the date of her birthday inside that little label sticker. Slipped in that little bluey tag because she got some bluey stuff for her birthday. And now we're moving on to the next spread. So the next spread is going to be about our Christmas tree. We did put it up toward the end of November as well. So like I said, trying to keep this pretty chronological. And I have this little paper, it's like a vintage magazine paper or a book paper. And I just trimmed that down to fit again over the white side of that page. And it's got like the edge of a Christmas tree illustrated on there, which I think goes really well. Then I'm just working out how I'm going to place my photos. I liked how the 4x6 photo fit on the right side page there. And then these little cello bags they're like gift or party bags, and I got them at the reject shop. Just pulling one of those out in case I want to use it on the spread or in the journal somehow. And I also really wanted to use one of my little fold out illustrations. These are available in my Etsy shop as a printable, and they're basically just different illustrations that adhere to a lined piece. It gives you like a lift the flap sort of effect that you would have in like a children's lift the flap book. And so they just add a bit more interaction and decoration to the pages and just make it feel a little bit more fun. So I'm using the Christmas tree illustration and I'm going to put that on the page as well. I wasn't exactly sure where yet. I liked how it looked sitting beside that large photo, but that paper in the background is really busy, and I didn't like how it kind of got lost on that paper. So I had to find something to mount it on top of, and I found this brown paper bag, and I thought this would be good because later on when we buy our special ornaments for the year, I can add that journaling inside the pocket or inside that paper bag. So each year we like to buy a new ornament each to add to our tree, and so I thought that would be like the perfect little hidden place to add that journaling later. So I'm gluing that down in the middle of the page. I also just did a little messy drawn border around it just to help it stand out a little bit more, and then just glued that little fold out piece right in the middle, and that's where I'm going to do some journaling. And then I went ahead and stuck that 4x6 photo down onto the page on the right, and I just used double-sided tape for all the photos in this journaling session. Now I have a couple of other smaller photos that I wanted to include as well, so I'm going to put them on the next page. And the problem is I used some papers from Noel Craft Consortium, and they're such beautiful papers. They're so beautiful that you don't want to cover them up too much. So this blue paper is one of my favorites, and I really didn't want to cover it up, so I'm trying to work out how I can still journal there without covering over the paper. So I'm just being a little bit precious about that paper, and I decided to glue the flap of this white envelope over the edge of the page, and then when that sits, it sits over the page, but it's not glued down, so you can still lift it up to see underneath. So I used the front of that as a little photo mount, and then I used the pocket inside the envelope to put the other photo, and I'm just going to leave that page for now. Moving on to the next page, I have these little photos from Elf on the Shelf. So we've just started this tradition this year. It wasn't one that I was going to do, but my son really wanted to join in with the elf tradition. So I'm going to use just this one page to put all of our elf pictures so far on the right there. So I'm just kind of collaging them in order, and again sticking them down with double-sided tape, and then later on I'm going to add my journaling to these pages as well. Nothing in here is very embellished, so it's very simple, very quick. These are the little paperwork pieces that you get when you register your elf from Elf on the Shelf. So I've got the adoption certificate, and I've got a letter from Santa's workshop, and I'm just working out how I'm going to put them in here. So at first I thought I could put them into an envelope, and then I could stick them down in there somehow, but this envelope was actually too big for this journal. It's too long, so I guess I could have trimmed it down and made that work, but I just wasn't really loving how it looked, so I didn't commit to that. I thought I could fold it over and make it shorter, but again I felt like I didn't like the way that looked, and it felt really bulky. So I folded those pieces down a little bit more, again just playing around with some different ideas. I had this green envelope that I thought might work, but I wasn't crazy about how the colour looked with that Elf on the Shelf page. I liked it with the red paper on the next page, but I just didn't really feel like that was the perfect place for it, so I didn't do that either. And I ended up pulling out that cello bag with the Christmas trees again. These are from the Reject Shop, and I thought that this would be kind of fun to tuck the paperwork into because you can see inside the bag. So I decided to go to the next page just behind the photos of the elf where it's white, and I'm going to staple that bag straight down onto the page. This was a little bit fiddly and slippery to attach, so I had to readjust it a couple of times to get it perfect, but in the end I like how it looked, and I added one of those jumbo paper clips along the top to stop the papers from slipping out. The next photos are from just going out for a swim. Here in Australia we're coming into the really hot season for Christmas, so we do lots of swimming and stuff. So I've got photos here from going out to an island on the boat, So there's some pictures of the kids that I'm just adding to the page in the best way that I can. And again, just adding some more washi tape around the page to add that little bit of extra decoration. And for this page, I decided to add a couple more of those red framed labels just so that I could add a little bit of journaling to go along with those photos. The next couple of photos that I have are just from a day I got my hair cut, which I desperately needed my haircut. It was so dry and so dead. So I have a photo of my hair, and then I also have a photo of my daughter eating a little donut man that she got while I was getting my haircut. And then I just added this little strip of like notepaper along the bottom so I can add some journaling in a minute. And from the same day, I have this invitation here from my son's preschool graduation. So I'm trimming the envelope down just a little bit and then resealing it so that it will fit inside the journal nicely. And then I cut open the opposite side so that it could be attached to this page and have a pocket on the outer edge of the page, if that makes sense. So I glued that straight down on the page. It fit really, really well. And then I just added a little bit of tape on the inner side so that it sort of sealed up that gap in the envelope where I trimmed it earlier. So inside that envelope, I've got the invitation, and I've also got some extra information about the graduation tucked inside. And then I've got the photos from the graduation that I'm going to add to this spread as well. I've also made a couple of photocopies of his graduation certificate, and so I just scanned those in on my computer and printed them out small so I could add them to this journal. And so I just glued one of them on the page beside his photo in his little graduation gown, and then I tucked the other one with the other photo inside that little invitation envelope as well. Again, added a couple of little bits of washi tape just to add a nice pop of colour. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is just add those last couple of photos. So I have more photos of the same island but a different weekend. So just a couple of pictures, and I just glued them down, and here you can see I've gone through and added all my journaling. Now I'm just adding a few little extra details. So I added another little label sticker on top of that cello bag. I also took the offcut of that brown paper bag, and because I didn't want to waste it, I stapled it along the bottom of this page, and it's going to become like a little pocket. And I put this little tag from the Hey Santa collection inside that pocket and just did a tiny bit of journaling on top of that as well. Then on this last page, it's a little bit unfinished, so I'm taking one of my illustrated Cosy Christmas linens, and I liked the way this one fit really well down the side of the page, and it just kind of filled the gap and added a little bit more interest. These are all printed on sticker paper, so they're really quick and easy to use. Again, added a little bit of washi tape and just a tiny bit of journaling down the bottom in that gap. And then just flicking back through the pages, seeing if anything is missing, and I decided to add a little strip of washi tape on that white space there, and I think that just makes the whole page look a bit more finished. And I think that's pretty much it for this journaling session. So I did lots of pages. They're really simple though, and each spread was quite quick, although the whole journaling session took me a while because there was just so many photos and so many different events to journal about. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little journal with me. I know it's a little bit different to my normal videos, but this is the journal I'm going to be working in throughout December. And then next year, I'm going to be returning back to my normal junk journal with me videos, but I'll be in a brand new journal. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys very soon, as well as a flip through of the previous journal that I've just finished. So lots of exciting things and ideas in my mind that I'm really excited to share with you guys very soon. I hope you're all doing really well. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments down below. And yeah, I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.